go right into some techniques that I've come up with using your essential energy
I
tools.
love that. Yeah, because that's
We're
one
gonna
of the thing we want to do is give people the tools to really get the most out of this, you know, and
yeah.
whether whichever size you get, the 4-inch, 5-inch, or one of the, we want to get you to be able to use to get the most out of it. So
Yeah. Next, let's go into the LightTower here. Years ago, a friend of mine, Art, he was an aerospace surgeon engineer. We were having lunch together, and you know, I was telling him, I says, you know, I see all these people every day, and everybody's hips and spine are constantly out of alignment. I'm just having a heck of a time putting them back in place. And oh my gosh, over the years now, I've seen people with screws and plates in their spine and all this ridiculous stuff that did absolutely nothing for them, you know, and they're hurting even worse after something like that. But there's got to be, again, a mechanism of action that's causing it, because I'm a cause and effect doctor. Okay, I want to go after the cause. You get rid of the cause, then you don't have the problem. Okay, and he says, well, that's very simple. And I said, all right, what do you mean that's very simple? What's causing the hips and spine to go out of alignment? Stand up a second here, honey. Let me see your back, if you will. And as Kate turns around here, once again, folks, you got the central nervous system going through the back. You got the autonomic nervous system going through the back. You got your vagus nerve coming through your back here, okay? And what Art told me, he says, when the body gets loaded with EMF and electropollution, it ends up right here, what we call the basic energy center. And he says, what happens when that gets full, bang, the hips will go out of alignment. No kidding. I said, that's pretty darn amazing. So over the years, I've developed a couple of things with my hands that we can, you know, put the hips and spine back in alignment. But since I got the 4-inch LightTower, there's nothing like this, because now it holds, and it holds really good. So this is what I'm going to do. First thing I want to do on Kay here is I'm going to check, what I'll do on people is I'll check the top of their iliac crest, which is the top of the hip bone here on both sides. Now on Kay right now, she's not out a whole lot, but we do put each other back together every day, maybe about an inch, babe. That's what you're out, okay? And what I have people doing is what's called lymphatic breathing. Let me share this real quick with you. This is so important, folks. Lymphatic breathing is very, very essential. Again, we're talking oxygen, water, and minerals, right? In the very center of your chest, you have what's called a thoracic duct. This is where all the lymphatic vessels dump into, okay? So the thoracic duct does not have a pump. Unlike the heart has a sinus rhythm, so it's constantly beating, but the thoracic duct does not. We have to make it work. So here's the thoracic duct. So when you take a slow, deep, deliberate breath in through your nose, the thoracic duct opens up. When you exhale through your mouth, you're letting out carbon, toxins, and poisons. There it goes. Where you just gush lymph fluid one time through your body. Now that lymph fluid is going around in between the interstitial spaces of the cells and organs, picking up the toxins and poisons, dumps it back in the thoracic duct. It goes out the right subclavian vein through the liver, kidneys, and you get rid of it. Well, how many people breathe like this, though? I mean, we just don't. You know, naturally we breathe in through our mouth and we don't think anything. Folks, if you take time, you know, do this a couple, 2, 3, 4 times a day. Take 5 minutes out of your day. Sit back, relax, just do some, lymphatic breathing in through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. By the end of the day, you moved a lot of toxins and poisons out of your body. You're going to be amazed how much better you feel. You really will. Okay, so Kay's hips and spine are out of alignment here. Dan, this is going to blow you away. So what I've done here, normally, you know, I would have my hands on people trying to fix the hips and spines here. So I'm taking the LightTower. Okay, we've got the line at the top. So we're going to start at the top here because it's above the heart, right? So I'm going to come up here by the vagus nerve, central nervous system, everything that's here. Take a deep breath in through your nose, exhale through your mouth, and just keep doing that as I go through this procedure here, honey, okay? So I'm going to go up and down her spine like this while Kay's breathing. And normally what we figured out here over the last 5 weeks, if I do this 5 or 10 times, there's no set number that you have to work with. You just go up and down a few times like that, okay? And I'm not touching her. I'm about 2 or 3 inches away from her body. That's what I'm doing. Then from her hips on both sides here, the sciatic nerve runs from the tailbone out to the hips and goes down to the side of the leg, okay? So from the side of her hips here, I'm going to go this way. Back and forth. And again, 5, 10 times. There's no set number here.
Which direction do you have that indicator line now?
Okay, it's still up. Oh, I'm
Yep.
sorry. No, it's still no. You're right. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm down below the heart, so it's down. So I got the indicator line down, and we're going this way. Glad you brought that up, Dan. Okay, and again, whatever it takes, it doesn't matter. Now from the side of the hip, I'm going to go down to the side of the knee. Well, Kay is still breathing. She's taking in the oxygen. Most pain in the body, by the way, folks, is due to lack of oxygen to the cells. A lot of people don't know that, but everybody's a shallow breather. They're hypoxic, and they're just not feeding the cells. And then I'll come over here on the other side and make sure the line's going down, like Dan said, up and down. And that's all there is to it. 3, 4, 5 times, it just doesn't make any difference. And then I'll put it down here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to check her hips again. And normally I'll ask people before I start because they'll have pain in through here. Okay, but let's check her hips again. That's the top of that hip. That's the top of that hip. I don't know if you guys can see that, but those hips are straight across now. Okay?
Wow.
Pain's gone away. This is phenomenal. When I called you, if you remember, it was last Friday, I believe it was, Dan. I called you. I'm trying to think of the guy's name now. Brendel, Brendel's Pet Resort. Yeah, last Friday we were at Brendel's Pet Resort talking to him about paw tree food. And I got to talking to Daniel over there. His name's Daniel too. And I said, anything in particular going on? Thank you, Kay. Anything particular going on with you, Dan? Maybe I can help you with something. He says, well, several years back, I had spinal surgery done. And he said, I've got constant pain in my back, and this is going on for a long, long time here. And I said, well, I'm looking at you right now, Dan, where you're sitting, and your right shoulder is about 4 inches higher than your left shoulder. And he goes, okay. And I said, if you don't mind, stand up here for a second, if you will. Come around from your desk, or he stood in front of me, and I explained to him exactly what I did to Kay. Okay, that's what I was going to do. I got him deep breathing first, and I looked at his hips, and man, he was a good 4 inches out. I mean, he was really, really messed up. So up and down his spine like this, across the tailbone, up and down side, both legs, less than 1 minute, Dan, less than 1 minute working on him. And I said, Daniel, I said, I just checked your hips here. They're totally straight across. And he says, huh? I said, do a favor, go around, walk around your desk and come on back here. So he walks around his desk. I said, lift one leg at a time. He did that. He looks at me. He's got this big grin on his face. Wow. He says, I don't have any more pain. It's all gone. I said, yep. That's what we're all about here, in regards to essential energy systems that we use on the body. So he was blown away. I mean, that's just one of many things that I do, throughout the week to help people. But that was really, really pivotal. When I called you, if you remember, it was last Friday, I believe it was, Dan. I called you. I'm trying to think of the guy's name now. Brendel, Brendel's Pet Resort. Yeah, last Friday we were at Brendel's Pet Resort talking to him about paw tree food. And I got to talking to Daniel over there. His name's Daniel too. And I said, anything in particular going on? Thank you, Kay. Anything particular going on with you, Dan? Maybe I can help you with something. He says, well, several years back, I had spinal surgery done. And he said, I've got constant pain in my back, and this is going on for a long, long time here. And I said, well, I'm looking at you right now, Dan, where you're sitting, and your right shoulder is about 4 inches higher than your left shoulder. And he goes, okay. And I said, if you don't mind, stand up here for a second, if you will. Come around from your desk, or he stood in front of me, and I explained to him exactly what I did to Kay. Okay, that's what I was going to do. I got him deep breathing first, and I looked at his hips, and man, he was a good 4 inches out. I mean, he was really, really messed up. So up and down his spine like this, across the tailbone, up and down side, both legs, less than 1 minute, Dan, less than 1 minute working on him. And I said, Daniel, I said, I just checked your hips here. They're totally straight across. And he says, huh? I said, do a favor, go around, walk around your desk and come on back here. So he walks around his desk. I said, lift one leg at a time. He did that. He looks at me. He's got this big grin on his face. Wow. He says, I don't have any more pain. It's all gone. I said, yep. That's what we're all about here, in regards to essential energy systems that we use on the body. So he was blown away. I mean, that's just one of many things that I do, throughout the week to help people. But that was really, really pivotal. Now, I want to, speaking of, you were talking about fans, so let me get this note in here. I made a note for myself. That fan, folks, you guys may not realize it, but it's producing EMF. Now, my wife likes to sleep under a fan. I don't. And the reason being is because the EMF coming off that fan, you can see it's creating a vortex of positive ions that's coming down, wiping off all the negative ions on your body. Now, if you notice, if you sleep under a fan, you wake up in the morning, you're more tired than you went to bed. Well, that's the reason why. So what I do from now on, before we go to bed, she likes to have the fan on, so that's fine. I'm just going to harmonize the fan. That's all I'm going to do. Okay, we'll take care of all those positive ions. I'm not worried about it anymore, and it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
So there's another thing that you can do with the fan. And the same thing, ladies, with an air dryer. The hair dryer, if you notice when you get done drying your hair with it, well, you're putting all these positive ions. It's blowing out into your head, and you pretty soon, you feel a little woozy, you feel dizzy. Well, it's because of the hair dryer. Harmonize your hair dryer.
Yeah.
If you ever drive in a convertible, you'll notice when you get out of the car, because of the wind blowing on you so much, it's blowing off all the negative ions that surround our body constantly. So, I mean, it's just little things like that that just make a positive impact on the human body. So I wanted to share that with you real quick about the fan.
Doc, I love that, because I've been telling people that this is what I do with my cell phone. I'll do it with a Wi-Fi router too, but I'll harmonize those. Just we call it painting. That's what you were doing to the fan. That's what you're doing to the hair dryer. We're just painting. You just go back and forth, up and down. But then if a cell phone, you can do the same thing. If this is a phone, you just back and forth. You get all the areas where the batteries are. You've got 5 or 6 antennas in those phones. Believe it or not, GPS, cell, everything, and Bluetooth. So you've got to really hit all of that. But
and the router over here.
Well, how long, Doc? I bet. Have you found that 30 seconds to a minute about, right?
Yeah, real quick. It doesn't take any time at all. The TV, electrical box outside. I've gone around the whole house, the whole property, and just harmonized everything.
So I have a very good electrician friend, Darren, who every time he goes into a house or a commercial building, before he works on the electrical, he goes out to that panel and he paints it. He paints all the wiring and everything before he starts working on it. He says it makes a huge difference in how he ends his day. Yeah.
That's another thing too with the cell phone. I never hold a cell phone. You ever see these holders? These are from WeatherTech. You can get these. I got one in a cup holder in the car. My phone says stuff like that in the car too. But we always hold. I will not put a phone up to my ear anymore. Not for, oh God, we've had these for years, right? But this was the next thing I was going to show you with K2 in regards to testing. Stand up a second, huh? Okay. Take your pendant off again. Let me take mine off. Because I know that when I work on people, I do influence people with my energy close enough here. So when you're testing with the cell phone, like Dan says, now these have been harmonized, so she's not going to get the same effect here. But this is the test that you want to do with your phone when you get your 4-inch, okay? You put your arm out, take your left hand here, put it on the phone, okay? Put it over right there on your chest, okay? Now, again, now you're going to have them before you harmonize the phone. You're going to muscle test them, and they're going to be extremely weak is what they will be, okay? And she's not now. And then after you harmonize the phone, you do it again, have them hold against their chest, you muscle test them, and they're going to be very strong. So you're going to see the difference between the phone being harmonized and not being harmonized. It's a real simple way to do that with the phone. So that was another.
Doc, funny, interesting story. I was with about 30 farmers about a month ago, and these were all, they were running everything with LED lights in the shop that we were having our meeting at. And I just stopped there and I said, so how do these LED lights affect your eyes? And a lot of them said, oh, I don't like them, but they all have them, right? And I said, well, give me a couple of minutes. And I took my 5-inch LightTower, right? And you can get them with this leather pouch as well if you want. But I took the 5-inch LightTower and I just stood here and I just treated the LED light for it took about a minute to 2 minutes. And then all of a sudden, all at the same time, everybody noticed that the quality of that LED light shifted, and it wasn't nearly as hard on their eyes. They could actually almost look at the LEDs and see the individual LEDs. It was just, they said, man, it just looks more. It looks more. I use the word coherent, but it just
coherent. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's more harmonized. It wasn't hurting their eyes like it used to. So
Exactly.
I've been doing that with fluorescent lights and LED lights for years. And you can do that if you're at church or you're in a building where they've got all these LED lights everywhere. You can just be sitting
Yeah.
there in the bench and you help yourself and everybody else in the room. Just do this
There
back and forth. Yeah,
you go. Heck, we got what 10 LEDs in our kitchen, I believe, that are, it's
sure.
just it is feel them. So we got to do this today. I'm glad you brought that up, and that's really cool. That
And you
really
do
is.
it once every week or so. I do all my electronics on Monday. It's just something I
Uh-huh.
remember to do. It might
No.
take longer than that, but I just do it every week anyway.
Hmm. Okay, good. The next thing I want to show you now, last night when you and I spoke a little bit, you said, boy, you got a wave watch. We all have a wave watch, okay? You
Sure.
said, is there a way that we can use, say, the pendant, or actually the pocket pendant is what I figured out for us here, with
Okay.
the wave watch?
Sure.
Yeah, there is. So let me show you what we did here. I took a wristband. You know what a sweat wristband is? I cut the edge of it, opened it up, and I faced the shiny side on the inside of the wristband, just slid it in there, moved it around so it doesn't fall out, but I cut the edge of the wristband. Okay.
Okay.
Now I put that on. Then I took all you people out there that have a wave watch now. Okay. Check this out because it's going to blow you away. Now I put the wave watch on. Very, very simple. Now you set your wave watch to wherever it is. As we know, the wave watch, the frequency handbook has over 1,000 different frequencies in there for symptoms, conditions, and so-called diseases. So you set it for whatever you want. As that acoustic frequency comes out of the wave watch, goes into your hand, it's going to, now this is on the other underside here, okay, of the pocket. And
Does it
so I put it on
matter
the
which
other.
does it matter which side of the wave watch you have that
I
on?
don't think it matters which side. I just like it going through my body, so I have it on the inner side there. But it's
Okay.
going to pick up, the wave watch is going to pick up the frequencies, which is what? The biophotons now of the pocket pendant, and it's going to go through the body. Well, in doing so, guess what? It's going to bypass all this mitochondria that's in your body that we are going to take the stressors out of, that we are going to rebalance again. And being that the weight watch is targeted, you're going towards a special target, it's going to drag those frequencies to that whatever you set your wave watch for. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to do that, Dan. Okay.
I
Very
love
simple. Isn't that cool?
I think that's
Okay.
great. I think you could
So,
do that also if you happen to wear a smartwatch. Do the same
uh-huh.
thing. It'll
Yeah.
mitigate the effects of that smartwatch on you. That's what the
Well,
one that comes to my mind. But if
I
you're an
will tell
athlete, why not do that when you go out for a jog or you play your sports? Seems like
right,
it'd be a
right.
good fit. Yeah.
I will tell you though, I've got a friend of ours over in Arizona, and for months she could not figure out why she has this pain on her. I finally talking to her one day on the phone, and she's wearing one of those smart watches. Well, guess what, folks? That's connected to the internet.
Yeah.
What do you think that's doing to your wrist here? You've got all that EMF coming into your body constantly. So
That's
I
right.
told her, I says, Kathy, take it off for a week, try it. Let's see what it's like. She don't wear it anymore because that was the cause and effect of her having so much pain going through her arms and her bodies was because of that stupid, whatever they call it. They've got so many of them out there now, but if it's
Doesn't
plugged
it
into the,
doesn't even matter which one. Yeah, it doesn't matter which one it was. They're all putting an amazing amount gigahertz worth of
it is
EMF directly onto your skin. And I
exactly.
tell everyone you got to get rid of those or you're going to harmonize it. And then, but yeah, it's the same thing with I might as well mention the AirPods or the in-ear
Yeah,
buds. Those
yeah,
are a disaster for your health and for your brain,
yeah,
your
yeah,
neurological function. It's going to make you have
yeah.
you're going to sleep terrible, but probably amnesia or short-term memory issues. It's going to really, there's so many studies out there. We have to start, uh,
Years
looking at,
ago, I went through that with the guide too. You always wore this Bluetooth, that thing you wrap around your ear.
yep,
Guess what? He ended up, you can see the actual outline of the ear where he's got Bluetooth cancer now from the Bluetooth. I mean, come on, we got to have some common sense here, folks, with this stuff. You can't wear anything that's hooked to the internet on your body. It's just not going to work. Oh, I mean, you can. I'm not telling anybody they can't, but you're going to suffer the consequences. So why
Yeah.
do it?
Yeah.
And
Realize there's
all
consequences.
convenience. That's all it is, you know. So,
But we underestimate the effect of the environment, that the environment is influencing us, and how we underestimate the impact it has on our immune system. Our immune system is there to protect us and defend us, but with that EMF, it mutes the immune system. You know, it suppresses it. Well, now we're just left open for attacks. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, even though we could harmonize that other watch or whatever it is,
Sure.
see, the watch is not connected to the internet. It's all self-contained, so we don't have to worry about that. But I just wouldn't even bother taking the chance. I just really wouldn't. I mean, why go through all that if you really don't have to? A lot of people, put your legs down, huh? Understand, folks, that the human body is carbon-based, okay? And the legs are like grounding sticks to your body. So all the negative energy that comes into your body, whether it's your thought or no matter what it is, ends up in your legs. This is not good, okay? So here's something that you can do that I've been doing for people for years without this, but boy, what a big difference this is here. And I'm gonna take her suck it off over here because it's easier to see.
Can you take this off?
No, you can leave that on. It doesn't make any difference with that. So what we're going to do here now, if you take my left hand, grab her ankle, and with my knuckles here, I'm just going to stimulate the bottom of her heel. Now her heel, it's connected to the pituitary gland in the brain. So what we're doing is we're stimulating endorphins when we do this. Well, what's endorphins, Dan? It's a feel-good hormone, right? That's what that is. Okay, so after I do this for about a minute on a person, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the 4-inch upside down because it's down. I'm just going to put this on her foot with the 4-inch. Like that. Let that work all the way through her leg into the pituitary gland. Keep stimulating what we want to do. It's going through the body here now. Guys, you won't believe how much pain you can take out of your legs doing this.
Wow.
I've done it already times. It's absolutely amazing. Okay. So here's another amazing tool that anybody can use, especially, and again, being as the body's carbon-based, all that negative energy ends up in our legs because our legs are like grounding sticks, okay? And everything gets stuck in here. I mean, how many times do we walk? Oh boy, I don't know why my legs are hit. Well, here we go. More EMF, more energy, what's ever coming through. This works, guys. You're gonna love it. Okay. So that's one of the things I want to share with you too, Dan. Oh, and for myself here, I absolutely love the body pods that comes with the 4-inch that you sent here.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go with the body pods now.
Yeah, just to reiterate, that's what comes with the 4-inch LightTower is that runner's belt.
It comes with this.
Yep,
so
it's included
for me,
with
what I do is I'll put this on here, and again, I'm going to wear it around my waist. So we got the line indicator going down with the shiny side towards the body. Okay. And I'll tell you what I've been doing. But every morning we go outside here, and my wife and I, we walk around. I've got a big driveway up here, so we'll walk around. We'll do a little shuffling with our feet for about a half hour. But I'll put this on the back here like this, and it feels so good. Now understand, on your back here, the tailbone, again, that's the basic energy center actually for your whole body. And I will send out a sheet so you guys understand how all of these different energies. So you got 11 energy centers actually in the front, between the front and the back. But that's going over my tailbone. Now understand, the tailbone has got all these nerve fibers, folks, that come out and wrap around, guess what? Your prostate. Now for myself at 76, I've had a prostate problem. It goes up and down, you know, and I've got to keep it healed. Put this on there, guys. I've been wearing it 5 weeks now. I've had the product. So about every other day, I'll put this on and we'll walk around like that. And it's just shrinking the prostate like crazy.
Ah, I love it.
So the tailbone's got all these nerve fibers that wrap around the prostate. You can pull all this up on the internet, but it's amazing. It's amazing and just wearing this, I mean, this feels good just like this. I mean, so it's just another word. It's an amazing, it's a great gift too, including his pouch, because the pouch is perfect. I know you can wear it in the front if you want to for whatever's going on with you, I suppose. But